going on, Transcendent Family? Welcome to Skinny to Pro episode 14. It's crazy, we're already 14 episodes in. In today's video, we're going to be talking about PSMF. Shout out to everybody that left that comment. It's a protein sparing modified fast, and I'm going to briefly just go through how I'm deploying it. And I have to say this before we go into it. I am not a medical practitioner, so I'm not advising you to do this. You need to check with your doctor. This is just my protocol, what I'm running for myself, and what I've seen to work for the goals that I have. All right, let's get it. So a protein sparing modified fast is a diet that is commonly used in a clinical setting for morbidly obese patients. So what they'll do is they'll take their calories down to 800 calories. They'll keep their protein about 70% or better of those calories. Their fat will be about 20%, and then their carbs will be 10%. Now I know what you're thinking. This is used commonly for morbidly obese patients in a clinical setting. What are you doing using it right now? Well, if you use it properly, and land a pothole, hold on. Ugh. If you use it properly, it's actually very advantageous for getting lean enough to step on stage. And so I'm gonna break down how I've actually deployed this in a way that makes sense to help maximize fat loss.
Here's the lie, okay? I'll give myself to someone sexually in hopes that one day someone will want to know me and love me. In fact, listen, we all buy this lie, but especially ladies, this is your lie. This is your lie that you're being sold your whole life. If I give myself sexually away, at some point, one of these men will actually love me and want me. Instead of saying, when I meet someone who knows me and loves me and is committed to me, I will then share myself sexually with them.
All right, you all, so just made it to this pool function. Don't know what to really call it, but it's with our marriage small group. But real quick, picked up some stuff for them, and I got the meal prep. So I actually forgot my meal prep. We had to drive all the way home and get it. I'm just too close to the show to not do it, so that's a level of sacrifices you have to make sometimes, unfortunately. But the way I'm running the protocol is I'm definitely not doing 800 calories. Like, that would just be absolutely insane. So what I'm doing is 1,200, and I know some of y'all are like, that's no better. Like, that's absolutely no better. It's still crazy. And you would be right about that. But the main reason why I didn't go to 800 calories is I would for sure lose muscle if I do that. But at the 1,200 calories, I'm at least able to keep my protein high enough to try to avoid that. Usually when you're doing this protocol, you want to stay between 1.2, 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. I'm a little bit under that right now just because I had it higher than that initially when I was running the protocol. Kind of had some GI distress and stuff like that, so I brought it down. But stay tuned, I'm gonna give you all my exact macros later, but that's kind of how I'm running it. And yeah, like, even though I'm going to a function, I'm still on PSMF, no days off. We keeping it going. Y'all, I stepped away to use the restroom and my wife was changing real quick, so I was like, let me tap back in with y'all. So my protocol is completely different than when I did this last year, and I didn't even really talk about it in depth. So last year, before my first show ever, what I ended up doing is just doing PSMF for the entire week before peak week. So I did about 1,300 calories. I don't remember my macros off the top of my head. If I can locate those, they'll be right here on the screen. This year, what I'm doing, like I said, is 1,200, and then you can see the macros right here. But the main difference that I'm doing this year is, one, I started it out earlier than just the week before peak week. And so I can't remember if I mentioned this on my YouTube or if I did this on one of my stories, Instagram, TikTok, which, by the way, make sure you're following on both platforms, and TikTok especially gets daily uploads right now. What I ended up doing is I started it earlier, and that has allowed me to beat the level of leanness that I had in my first show ever 3 weeks prior to the actual show. So it's been working really, really good. And so what I've been doing is just doing PSMF 2 times a week. And what I would typically do is I'll place them on the day where I'm not training, like today. Today is Sunday. That way I'm not really impacting my workouts as much, because even when I'm not in PSMF, I still have lower calories, lower carbs. It's just not as aggressive. So I try to make sure it's not affecting my performance as much. And doing it this way has been working wonderful. It still sucks, right? PSMF, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, super hard. It's not the easiest thing to adhere to, but the cool thing is your protein is so high that in terms of satiation, as long as you spread your meals out, you're generally okay. It's when you start trying to be active and stuff like that, that's when you start to be like, I'm just not feeling it. But anyways, we both like dual recording today. So, you know, we're a YouTube family. I guess we're a YouTube family now. But anyways, like people were kind of, well, actually I only say people, my own wife was laughing at my chicken, and I'm about to go eat my. What was she doing when you picked it up? Speak before all the children are gathered.
I was laughing at it.
I know, she supports me really well. She be doing her thing. But yeah, I'm about to get my chicken and peppers in. I'm gonna enjoy that with some water, and we're gonna tap in later. All right, you all, back at the crib. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. Your boy is through. Between the low calories, just being tired, I really got to focus on my sleep tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and wrap it up here. But that is pretty much my protocol. I started doing this back on August 5th. It is now August 31st. You can do the math on that, how early I started out. Like I said, really enjoyed the results because I was able to beat my first package that I ever presented on a bodybuilding stage 3 weeks ahead of time. Super dope, amazing, and actually have more muscle on me and hit that same body fat percentage that actually was on stage the previous year. So kind of like I was saying, the war isn't won yet, but that particular battle between me and me has been won. So that's super cool. The other thing I would say about the protocol that I changed is when it comes to my steps on my PSMF days, I bring the steps down. So for instance, right now my steps are all the way up at 15,000 a day. On the PSMF days, I only do 12,000. And before, when I was doing 12 on a high day, PSMF days, I would only do about between 8 to 10 because again, even though we have high protein, everything is so low, we have to be careful to not lose muscle. And that was my biggest concern. Like I can't allow myself to really just shred through muscle. Want to lose weight, but specifically fat. So anyways, if you stay tuned to the end, hit that subscribe button. That's the only way you're going to know when I put out a new video. Tap the like button and comment down below. That's actually how this video got out. I asked in a previous video, hey, do you all want to learn about the protocol I'm running? Got a comment, here's the video. So I am one of those responsive people. And again, like I said in the previous video, I'm really creating a family atmosphere of just people that just rock with me and rock with the mission of getting 1% better at least every single day, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Your boy has peak week next week. So not next week, this week's already started. The following week will be peak week. I'm super excited for that. I can't wait to take you all along for the journey. I'm gonna record as much as possible these shows. I appreciate everybody that's been rocking with me. And yeah, it's skinny to pro for a reason. And remember, it's not just about bodybuilding, from going to a skinny kid to being a pro bodybuilder. That's a part of the story, but it's literally a late blooming story where it's like, hey, you went from this, and you got here. You put in the work, and you got here. You trusted God, and you got here, right? So if you're rocking with that, make sure you follow along. All right? So remember, I love you all, but most importantly, Jesus loves you. Peace.